I can already tell that I'm going to probably like this Garo so much more than the first Garo, because the characters, they have more pizzazz about them. Like, I'm really loving the personality of our Makai Alchemist, or Makai Priest, which I want to get into that real quick. So, a bunch of Chibits mentioned in the comments section on my first impressions of Garo Season 2, or this new series of Garo that's kind of not really connected with the first series. Well, a bunch of Chibits were saying that our main female character is not really a Makai Alchemist. She is a Makai Priest, and the translations we got from Crunchyroll are incorrect. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw quite a few, not just one, quite a few Chibits saying that it was supposed to be Makai Priest, not Makai Alchemist. So if that is true, then that's kind of a huge fuck-up, but let's just look past that for now. So yes, our main female character is a Makai Priest, and seeing how, like, our individual characters have their own good personality, like, their own interesting personality, and, like, our Makai Priest, our main female character, her personality, she has this pizzazz about it that just really is spicy, and seeing how the way she was acting to our main male character, Raiko, I like where this is going, because there's romance obviously building up between these two, but also seeing how these two characters are having their own spotlight, it adds a different dynamic to this Garo instead of the first one, because in the first Garo, we constantly had a back and forth between, you know, Leon and then also Alfonso, and seeing how now we're having, like, you know, one center plot around one character, two characters to be exact, but in the same location, it adds more time to give development to these said characters instead of taking some time off of the characters for individual characters focusing on these other characters. Like, you know how they did, like, Alfonso episodes for maybe 2 to 3 episodes, and then they switched over to Leon, and they gave him 3 episodes, so forth, so on. You get my point I'm getting at. So seeing how, since these two characters are, you know, together almost at all times when they fight, it gives enough time for both of these characters to express their development, how they met, and what drives them to continue doing what they are doing. Now, the main point of this episode of Garo is our main male character getting the resolve to fight. Does he have the resolve to hunt down horrors and fight for what is right? Does he have the resolve? And that is what this entire episode was. So him getting the resolve to figure out, is he worthy to carry on the name or the golden armor? And also he found out kind of how he got his armor, what sets him apart from previous Makai Knights we have seen from Garo. So we get some information that if you have the armor on, like any Makai Knight armor on, it causes it to where you might go insane and lose your mind, which we saw an example of this in the first Garo series that came out earlier this year, and we saw what happened to Leon. And seeing how he could, like, lose his mind, or the armor gets its own will, but he doesn't lose his own soul in the process, it shows you how different he is, but also the way he summons the armor is completely different from the way Leon or anyone else before him did. Because seeing how he was able to summon this armor without having to summon it, for instance, how our Makai Priest summoned it for him, it shows you how different his activation is, but how strong he might be in the future, because that means he won't have any time limit for his armor. He won't have to worry about taking his armor off, let's say, for 30 seconds. Like, let's say the Makai Knight till he had 30 seconds to wear this armor, or they could possibly go insane. He doesn't have that time limit. As long as the armor doesn't go fucking crazy and start just killing random people, he doesn't have a time limit. He can actually help out, and he can fight for as long as he needs to without having to worry. So this is a really, really good trait to have as the main character, so this is going to play a huge role in the future for him to be able to fight at long periods of time because of the way his armor works. Now, Zaraba, I love Zaraba's dialogue. I'm kind of upset he got interrupted in the middle of his dialogue, but hey, I'm glad to see Zaraba once again in the same voice actor. He's pretty beastly in the first season of Garo, and I do hope he has more of an important role to play in this season of Garo just because of how cool he is. Now, besides that, though, we also get some backstory on our main male character and our main female character of how they met, and how, like, our main Makai Priest, she wants to raise him as her Makai Knight, and seeing how they grew closer together since that point on. So yeah, I mean, we get to see how they formed their bond, along with how he got his armor, and how his armor is all beefcaked up. And it reminded me a lot of Leon when I saw the horrors all over his armor. It reminded me of when Leon, you know, he went crazy in the first season, and you remember what happened to the town. That's exactly what that reminded me of, seeing that situation. But that's about it. So, this is the episode of Garo. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how do you all feel about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.